Another day and another injury. So, unfortunately, Tuesday, December 12th, is a lot like every other day this year. More injury news, as Jordan Schultz was the first one to report. Jedrick Wills had arthroscopic surgery this morning on his knee and will miss the remainder of the season. I thought that was going to be the only dagger to the gut. But no. Maurice Hurst tweeted out himself, "My 2023 season is over, and the frustration is unbearable. However, I am grateful to my teammates, coaches, staff, and the city of Cleveland for welcoming me and making me feel part of this family. I'll be back better than before." I mean, this one, no injury is good. And Maurice Hurst is not technically a starter, but he's been having an incredible season. He's been having the best year of his NFL career. He's been a part of a really good four-man rotation on that defensive line, who also has injuries there with Jordan Elliott. And unfortunately, the Browns are without Hurst for the rest of the season after what sounded to be okay injury news yesterday from Stefanski. No, it turns out Hurst is done for the year. But let's talk about losing Jed Wills for a moment, because we knew that he was going to miss maybe another week or so. Didn't think he'd be missing the rest of the season, though, right? The expectation was for him to return from short-term IR. Ultimately, he had to get knee surgery. They deemed it a success, and he should be ready to roll for the start of 2024, which means Garyon Christian and James Hudson are your two starting tackles. And there's no reinforcements coming. I mean, when you lost Dwan Jones, you thought, sure, that's obviously sucks and what the fuck, but at least we're getting Jed Wills back, and that can kind of soften the blow. Oh, no. There's no reinforcements, right? This is Napoleon at Waterloo. There's no one coming, dude. It's the Prussians and the British, and you're screwed. I mean, Jedrick Wills this season has not had maybe the best year of any tackle out there, or really close to it, but still, he's better than these two players in Christian and Hudson. That's for sure. I mean, Jed Wills ranking 67th out of 84 qualifying players according to Pro Football Focus. I mean, look where Garyon Christian and James Hudson are ranking in a moment, and I mean, they're not anywhere near really 67. Christian, his ranking is 75 out of 83. James Hudson's the worst tackle in football. I mean, you have two bottom 10 tackles starting for your team right now. And I believe in this Browns coaching staff to figure out a way to work around this obstacle. They've done it all season long. And every single time I think this injury is going to be the one that breaks the camel's back, the Browns go out there and win another game. So what the hell do I know? But at some point, we have to acknowledge there might be an injury that's just too much to overcome. And being down your starting two tackles from week one to being down your top three tackles when you lose Dwan Jones filling in for Jack Conklin, that might be one with the less than, let's say, super-duper athletic QB and Joe Flacco, might be too much to overcome. So if you guys want to guess what's tomorrow's show, yeah, it's free agent offensive tackles. We'll see who's a free agent that the Browns could pick up the phone and bring in for at least a workout. Alex Leatherwood, former first-round pick by the Raiders, he is on the Browns practice squad. So maybe they bring up Leatherwood if he has been practicing well all season. My suspicion is that'll be one of the first things they do if they really want to try and find a replacement. I mean, I don't think they're going to go out and find a new starting left or right tackle. But if Hudson or Christian were to get hurt, I mean, you are on thin ice right now. There's not a whole lot of other people out there that can step in at tackle. So it'll be interesting to see what if the Browns decide to move Bitonio to tackle, right? And if Posick is healthy, which, by the way, no update on Posick still, maybe you put Nick Harris at left guard or right guard, and you keep Posick at center. Try to get the best starting five offensive line combination possible, even if people are not playing in their usual positions. Now, speaking of practice squad elevations, Jake Trotter tweeted this out this morning. Browns calling up defensive end Sam Kamara to the active roster. So when I saw that, I initially was like, oh, cool for Sam. Oh, wait. But why? Whose spot is he taking on the roster? Maurice Hurst. So, knew an injury was kind of coming when I saw that. Just didn't know to who. And unfortunately, it's Mo Hurst. All right, let's jump into some rumors now on today's show. First segment. Is Flacco fever a thing? Is it happening right now? Oh, yeah. It is yellow fever, Philadelphia 1790s all over again. This is a real pandemic right now across the city of Cleveland, and a good one for the first time in, 3 or 4 years. But Joe Flacco fever is very real right now. You look at his 2 game logs between Week 13 against the Rams and Week 14 against the Jags. Guy threw for 311 yards and 3 touchdowns against Jacksonville. Got David Bell his first touchdown. Got David Njoku his first multi-score game of his NFL career. I mean, Joe Flacco is setting the Cleveland skyline on fire right now. Flacco, in my eyes, and the way I think all of us have seen him on the field, he is playing like a 16-year vet when it comes to what's going on up here and his decision-making and his arm strength. But he looks like a rookie. Like, the way he just celebrates with his teammates. Guys he's still learning first names of. He's running up and down the field like they are lifelong best buds. So to see him out there, I mean, Sergio Dip style having the time of his life, it's awesome to see that for Joe Flacco because he thought he was done in the NFL. He talked about how no one gave him a call all year. He kept staying ready. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And when he got the call to come to Cleveland, sure, it's probably a little bit awkward going to play for the Browns after he tormented them for so many years. But he does know one thing, and that's how to win in Cleveland. I mean, here are his career stats, whether he was with the Ravens, the Jets, or the Browns. He is 10-2 as a starting quarterback, whether he's on the Browns or against the Browns, playing in the city of Cleveland, 18 touchdowns to 7 interceptions, averaging over 230 yards a game. And he's got that gunslinger mentality, so sure, there might not be accurate passes downfield. But Joe Flacco, I think it is contagious. It is evident that he is out there and he is having a resurgence in his career. And one thing that I love about Flacco right now is he keeps mentioning how he's doing this in a way for his kids. Because initially I had a tinfoil hat on thinking, is Flacco a double agent for the Ravens? No, Flacco is playing in front of his young kids who, back when he was playing with the Ravens in his heyday, either they weren't born or they don't remember him playing. But now he's got kids who know what's going on. They know football, right? They're older. And so to see their dad out there kicking ass and taking names, well, that's giving him a lot of inspiration to go out there and play his best ball. So with that being said, if you had to pick a quarterback right now, who would you pick? I think it's easy to stick your head in the sand and go like, I don't want to acknowledge this awkward predicament that the Browns are in, which is Joe Flacco's playing really well. And some might say he's playing better than Deshaun Watson did this year. It's only been 2 games, and we've seen quarterbacks go on nice little stretches, so I want to see a bigger body of evidence. Like, people thought Josh Dobbs was the next Hall of Fame quarterback for the way he played in Arizona into Minnesota. The guy got benched today. Let's pump the brakes on the idea of Flacco being better than Deshaun Watson after 2 games. I would still roll with Deshaun Watson. This team has played better with Watson. This team won more games with Watson, of course, and I think Deshaun Watson would be a better quarterback right now over Joe Flacco if healthy. Second story we're going to get to here, Grant Delpit. Is he going to go to injured reserve? I'm going to give this one 2 Bernie heads. So Mary Kay has been talking up some chatter about the potential of Delpit going to IR. And we'll expand on that in just a moment. But really quickly, I want to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor today. And in fact, looking at the menu right now, the loaded bacon chicken, shredded chicken is delicious, can confirm. Factor, America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service, can help you eat well for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. Looking for calorie-conscious options over the holidays that don't skimp on flavor? Try delicious, dietitian-approved, calorie-smart meals with around or less than 550 calories per serving. Or need an extra boost to support your wellness goals and feel your best during the holidays? Try Protein Plus meals with 30 grams of protein or more per serving. So do yourself a favor right now. Head to factormeals.com/BrownsChat50 and use code BrownsChat50 to get 50% off. It's super convenient, it's super easy to use, and it's super delicious. That's code BrownsChat50 at factormeals.com/BrownsChat50 to get 50% off. So let's expand on Grant Delpit potentially going to injured reserve. So Mary Kay has speculated that Delpit would be a candidate to go to IR as he deals with a groin injury suffered in the Week 14 win, which, of course, it's just like a kiss of death. If you get an extension midseason, the next game you get hurt. And, of course, after signing a 3-year, $36 million extension, an extension I'm a big fan of, He went down with a groin injury, and Delpit could potentially miss a game for the first time since 2021. Didn't miss a snap all of last year. Hasn't missed a game this year. And now we might lose Delpit for the rest of the regular season. Here's what MKC said. The Browns, of course, hope that Delpit makes it back for this pivotal home stretch, but he's a candidate for injured reserve, meaning he'd have to miss the final 4 games. Well, the Browns are already thin at safety, right? Rodney McLeod's been on IR for a few weeks now. Juan Thornhill is battling a calf injury that just won't go away. It's going all the way back to week 1 of the season. So that leaves you with a former UDFA last year, DeAnthony Bell, and the UDFA this year, Ronnie Hickman. So if the Browns truly are down, not just their starting 3 tackles, right, in Conklin, Wills, and DeJuan Jones, but also Thornhill, Delpit, and McLeod, it's going to be a UDFA show at the back end for Jim Schwartz in Bell and Hickman. Hopefully Delpit does not miss much more time, but that's a big hopeful, right? He's dealing with a groin injury. I initially thought, hey, if Stefanski says on Monday they don't have a concrete answer, that's one of those no news is good news situations. And then Tuesday rolled around, and I watched the Browns lose Jedrick Wills, their starting left tackle, and Maurice Hurst, one of their key defensive linemen on the interior, for the rest of the year. So maybe no news is good news on Monday, just doesn't always work as well as I hope. But it's interesting because the Browns IR team is growing. In fact, it's growing so much, there's not even enough room on my graphic sheet to add Maurice Hurst, who just got added to injured reserve. In fact, the Browns IR team is making $51.1 million. That's a fifth of Andrew Berry's available cap space. I mean, imagine if you went up to Andrew Berry. Imagine if you went up to any GM or any business owner and goes, hey, how much will you plan to spend on your product or on players this year? Well, I'm going to be Uncle Sam, and I'm going to take a fifth of it. That's going to really hinder your ability to do a good job. So credit to Andrew Berry and Stefanski for having an 8-5 ball club right now, despite having a fifth of their payroll on injured reserve. And with that, we transition to this. Should the Browns extend Kevin Stefanski? I'm going to give this one 2 burning heads. And it's not because I don't think Stefanski's doing a great job. He's doing a tremendous job. I just don't know if right now, December 12th, is the right day to extend Kevin Stefanski. Here's why. Stefanski and Andrew Berry, in my eyes, they have earned contract extension. They have shown us they are very good at their jobs, and they sure might not be the best head coach or the best GM in the entire National Football League, but who are you going to get that's better? They're doing a great job. I view them as guys you want in the building in Berea for the next decade or so, all right? But they are not players, and there's a big difference, right? So we should not approach this conversation like they are players, right? You extend Grant Delpit now because if Delpit balls out the rest of the season, well, his price tag just went up a whole lot when he goes into free agency. But you extend him now so he never gets to free agency. Have you ever heard of a coach going in free agency or a GM in free agency in the last 20 years, signing with another team? No. I believe Kevin Stefanski, if I remember correctly, signed a 5-year contract when he was hired by the Browns in 2020. So it's not like Stefanski's going to be a free agent anyway after this year. So I think this is one of those situations where you don't become a prisoner of the moment. And like we saw with Delpit, extend them in the middle of the year. And if things go south the rest of the year, we're all going to be thinking, I can't believe the Browns extended them right before they lost the last 4 games of the season, God forbid. If the Browns finish with 10 wins, 9 wins, with 4 different starting QBs, I think Kevin Stefanski should win Coach of the Year. And yes, I would love to see Stefanski and Berry extended after the season. I don't think mid-season is a good time to do it. I think it just can create some bad mojo, right? Some, jinxed ya. You want to extend your coach? Football gods are going to come down with 4 straight losses to end the year, and you're going to want to reconsider that at the end of the season. Let the rest of the year play out, and then extend them. So grade Kevin Stefanski this season as a head coach. I'd give him an A. I mean, the Browns having 8 wins with 4 different starting QBs. Right before we started filming, we were hanging out in the bullpen here at Chat Sports, and the Vikings announced they're going to Nick Mullins, Browns legend, for one game or for the next game for Minnesota. And one of my coworkers like, has any team started 4 QBs this year? Right? Because the Vikings started Kirk Cousins, Josh Dobbs, Jaron Hall, and now Nick Mullins. And I go, the Browns. And they have 8 wins. And everyone's acting like Kevin O'Connell should win this award. How about Kevin Stefanski going with the same issues and having a better record and more injuries outside of just quarterback? So I would give Kevin Stefanski an A coaching grade here. I think Stefanski has done a tremendous job. He has shown us something that we wanted to see this year. And that was, stop being a fucking nerd. Like, stop being addicted to the analytics and sometimes have a little bit of a gut feeling with the way the game is going. And this year he's coaching with that tenacity, right? This year he's got a better, better grip and better hold on this locker room, making sure no one checks out just because Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb and all 3 starting tackles are gone for the year. No. Kevin Stefanski's done a tremendous job of keeping this locker room intact. Before we get on out of here, I do want to show some love, because I have borrowed enough of your time today, to our Week 14 Watch Party legends. So the MVP from our Week 14 Watch Party against the Jags is, without a doubt, Jeremy Stallman. Boys and girls, if you don't know how to bring your A game to a watch party, go study Jeremy Stallman, because the guy is going to put out teach tape that they're going to show at the draft for years to come. Jeremy, what you did on Sunday is something that people dream of, and they never quite get to. Incredible performance by you, Mr. Stallman. The All-Pro selection goes to TJ Showman Golf. I mean, you want to make a statement to begin the game? That's TJ Showman Golf. TJ might be the new Josh Cribbs, right? He's coming to the chat hot. He's getting people on their toes before kickoff. He's getting people ready. You ever been at a party when it's dying down a little bit and that one guy walks in and everyone gets off the couch and it's like, let's go play Pong? That's TJ right there. And then finally, our Pro Bowler, Jacob Kistner. Jacob Kistner, week in and week out, is the morale of the chat, right? He is the administrator of the chat along with Ty Man the Buckeye, making sure everything is moving along smoothly. Jacob, I can't thank you enough. I want to give the game ball to Kathy Sadecki. Kathy has been there week in and week out, and she's not looking for credit. She's not a me guy. Kathy does not have a red jersey on. Kathy wants to go out there in the heat of August, and she wants to do two-a-days because she is committed to winning. That's Kathy. That's the game ball. And finally, the sleeper is Jarrett Roush and Nevada Coke. An unbelievable duo. There's Michael and Pippin, right? You've got so many great duos out there. Batman and Robin, and Jarrett and Nevada. You two, if anyone's having trouble with their loved one, go talk to Jarrett Roush and Nevada Coke, because the sleeper to watch for is what these two are up to when no one else is looking. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate everyone for taking time out of their day to come hang out with us here. Hit me up on Twitter at Matthew Petey if you want more Cleveland Browns content.